We're talking about a number of U.S. scientists.
The FBI is now investigating the deaths and disappearances of 10 U.S. scientists.
Sticking on Outnumbered, it has now gone to the new chapter. The U.S. House Oversight Committee will now investigate the mysterious deaths and disappearances of now 11 scientists.
It would follow me to the gas station to go get beer. I would go get beer at the gas station, and that Lexus follows me.
They were among the brightest minds in America. Scientists, engineers, military officers, and researchers working at the frontier of aerospace, nuclear technology, and advanced physics. They designed rocket engines, they studied fusion, they tracked asteroids, they managed programs so sensitive that much of their work remains classified to this day. And then, one by one, they began to disappear. On the morning of February 27, 2026, retired Major General William Neil Mccasland left his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and never returned. He left behind his phone, his smartwatch, his prescription glasses, most of his personal belongings. He took only 3 things: his wallet, a pair of hiking boots, and a loaded .38 revolver. Then he walked toward the Sandia Mountains. No distress call. No surveillance footage showing where he went. No trace of his weapon. No trace of him.
This is April. How may I help you?
Hi, April. My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing.
Okay.
And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found. He's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage.
For weeks, search teams combed the rugged terrain. The FBI joined the investigation. Nothing was found. A former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory had simply vanished. And Mccasland was no ordinary retiree. He once oversaw billions of dollars in advanced aerospace, missile defense, and space technology. His career placed him at the center of America's most closely guarded military research programs. The kind of programs rival nations would pay anything to understand. The kind of programs few people ever even hear about. But Mccasland's disappearance was not the first. It was simply the moment the public started paying attention. Because when investigators looked back, they found something deeply unsettling. Over the previous 3 years, scientists, engineers, and senior officials tied to NASA, Los Alamos, MIT, and the U.S. Air Force had been dying, disappearing, or turning up murdered under highly unusual circumstances. 11 cases, 11 extraordinary people, and a pattern that becomes harder to dismiss with each new name. To understand why these cases matter, you first have to understand the world these individuals operated in. This is the hidden backbone of modern power: aerospace, nuclear research, advanced materials, fusion energy, satellite surveillance, missile defense. These aren't merely scientific disciplines. They are strategic assets. The nations that dominate these technologies shape the future. A breakthrough in rocket propulsion can alter the military balance of an entire century. A leap in fusion could rewrite the global energy economy overnight. A new materials science discovery can determine who wins the next arms race. That is why the world's intelligence agencies obsess over these fields. For decades, foreign powers have aggressively targeted American scientists. During the Cold War, Soviet operatives sought nuclear secrets. Today, the race has only intensified. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and others all actively pursue advanced U.S. technologies, sometimes through cyber espionage, sometimes through recruitment, and sometimes, according to former intelligence officials, through far more direct methods. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker has warned that America's scientists remain prime targets.
Daily is something that happens, a cat and mouse game that goes on day in and day out. It's espionage activities directed at our scientists, right. And we do the same going at other scientists in other countries.
In the 21st century, knowledge is the ultimate weapon. And the people who possess that knowledge are among the most valuable assets on Earth, which is exactly what makes this pattern so disturbing. Take Monica Jacinto Reza, a world-class materials scientist. a technical fellow at Aerojet Rocketdyne, co-inventor of Mondaloy, a revolutionary superalloy designed for high-performance rocket engines, the kind of breakthrough that can transform both civilian spaceflight and military propulsion. On June 22, 2025, Reza went hiking in California's Angeles National Forest. She was with two experienced companions. At one point, one of them moved roughly 30 feet ahead. 30 feet. He turned around. Monica smiled and waved. Seconds later, she was gone. No scream, no struggle, no footprints leading away. Search teams found only one item, a beanie, deep inside a ravine. A scent dog tracked her scent to that exact location. Then, the trail simply stopped. Reza had recently joined NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory after more than 3 decades in the private aerospace sector. Her expertise bridged government, military, and industry. And perhaps most notably, her work had been funded under Air Force programs once overseen by William Mccasland himself. That direct connection immediately drew attention. But Monica was not alone. Just 4 days later, Melissa Casias disappeared from New Mexico. Casias worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory, the birthplace of the atomic bomb, and one of the most secure scientific facilities in the world. She held security clearance. Her husband also worked there. On the morning she vanished, something was clearly wrong. She told her husband she had forgotten her badge, yet he had personally watched her use it. Later, she emailed her supervisor, claiming a family emergency. No emergency existed. That afternoon, surveillance cameras captured her, walking eastbound along State Road 518. She carried only a backpack, no purse, no keys, no wallet, and both of her phones were later discovered at home. Factory reset. Melissa Casias has never been seen again. 7 weeks earlier, another Los Alamos veteran disappeared. Anthony Chavez, a retired engineer with decades of experience supporting the dual-axis radiographic hydrodynamic test facility, one of the nation's most sensitive nuclear diagnostic programs. On May 4th, 2025, Chavez walked out of his home. His car remained parked. His wallet stayed on the table. His keys were untouched. Even his cigarettes were left behind. Neighbors saw nothing. Security cameras captured nothing. In Los Alamos, that fact is remarkable. A town built around secrecy somehow produced another perfect disappearance. Then there is the other side of the pattern, the dead. Frank Maiwald was one of NASA JPL's leading cryogenics experts. He helped design advanced instruments capable of detecting signs of life on distant worlds. He died suddenly in July 2024. No public cause of death was ever disclosed. NASA remained largely silent. Michael David Hicks, another longtime JPL scientist, died in 2023 at just 59 years old. Hicks had contributed to NASA's DART mission, humanity's first successful asteroid deflection test. Again, no public cause, no known autopsy. Then came Carl Grillmair, a Caltech astrophysicist deeply involved with NASA's NEOWISE and NEOS Surveyor missions, projects critical for tracking asteroids and potentially relevant to missile detection systems. On February 16, 2026, Grillmair was shot and killed on his front porch. His murder stunned the scientific community. Just months earlier, MIT plasma physicist Nuno Loureiro had been assassinated outside his Massachusetts home. Loureiro was among the world's foremost experts in nuclear fusion and plasma instability. His research had profound implications for both energy and defense. And then, Jason Thomas, a Novartis researcher with reported government ties, disappeared in late 2025. His body was recovered months later after the spring thaw. 5 dead, 4 missing. And then there is Amy Eskridge. Amy was not part of the traditional government research establishment, but her work placed her at the outer frontier of propulsion science. She founded the Institute for Exotic Science and explored electrostatic propulsion, advanced energy systems, and concepts many considered decades ahead of their time. Before her death, she spoke openly about pressure, about surveillance, about feeling watched.
After that, the Lexus started tailing me. And every time I saw the Lexus, it had a different license plate. It would be like Alabama plates, a different state plate. It would be random dealer plates, none of which were local. just like cardboard temporary dealer plates, none of which were any local dealers. Every time I saw it, it was different plates.
In 2022, Amy died. Her death was officially ruled a suicide. Yet for many in the alternative propulsion community, questions remain.
I just can't, because I spoke to her 4 hours before and she told me time and time again, I'm not going to commit suicide. I am not going to have an accident. If there's something suspicious about my death, it's because it is.
Milburn shared this text message he received from Eskridge May 13th, less than a month before her death. It says, OBTW, if you see any report that I killed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I overdosed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I killed anyone else, I most definitely did not.
Whether directly connected or not, Amy's story added fuel to an already growing fire. And once you compare the missing with the deceased, an extraordinary distinction begins to emerge. The scientists who died were primarily data creators. Their work lived in papers, simulations, servers. Laboratory notebooks, their knowledge, while immense, could survive them. But the people who vanished occupied a different category entirely. They were operators, builders, administrators, gatekeepers. Anthony Chavez carried decades of practical nuclear testing expertise. Melissa Casias understood Los Alamos' internal workflows, schedules, and personnel systems. Monica Reza knew how to turn patented alloys into real-world rocket engines. William Mccasland understood the strategic architecture connecting military funding, aerospace development, and classified programs. That kind of expertise cannot simply be copied onto a hard drive. It lives in human experience, and if someone wanted access to it, taking the person alive would be far more valuable than eliminating them. This is where the theories begin. The most obvious is foreign intelligence. America's dominance in aerospace, nuclear stewardship, and advanced materials makes its scientists incredibly attractive targets. A single defector can save a rival nation years of research and billions of dollars. History is filled with examples. The Manhattan Project, Soviet nuclear espionage, modern semiconductor theft. The race never stopped, it simply evolved. The second possibility is corporate espionage. The aerospace and defense sectors are worth trillions. A revolutionary propulsion system or materials breakthrough can determine which companies dominate entire industries. Competition can be ruthless, especially when national contracts are involved. The third possibility is perhaps the most uncomfortable: national security. What if some of these individuals were involved in programs so sensitive that conventional explanations could never be made public? Protective relocation, counterintelligence operations, containment of classified information. It sounds extraordinary, but extraordinary programs often operate beyond public visibility. Of course, coincidence must also remain on the table. Each case, examined individually, may have a conventional explanation. People disappear, murders happen, natural deaths occur. Patterns can sometimes emerge where none truly exist. But this particular pattern is difficult to ignore. The same institutions, the same fields, the same strategic technologies, the same strange circumstances, phones abandoned, cars left behind, digital trails erased, minimal forensic evidence. Even Congress has taken notice. Representative Tim Burchett has repeatedly called for greater scrutiny, expressing frustration with what he views as insufficient transparency from federal agencies.
Is releasing and being the government being more transparent around the issue of these UFO files and these UFO videos. President Trump, as you know, is vowing to release more than 45 videos and UFO files, and you have said, quote, you would be up all night if the things that I've seen are released. What are you talking about?
Well, again, I'm in a skiff when I view these things, and we're not allowed to talk about it, but I think America deserves to know. There's, we've had testimony, you've seen 11 people have either died or disappeared that have been close to this issue, whether that's a coincidence or not. I mean, if there was 11 members of the media like yourself disappeared. We have 11 barbers or 11 rabbis. I don't care. I think America would demand some answers. And for some reason, this is people are kind of hands off with this thing. But I think that I'll just say this. It's not about little green men or flying saucers. It's about what we're spending tens of millions, possibly billions of your dollars on. And we deserve transparency.
When lawmakers begin publicly asking questions, it usually means concerns have reached levels far beyond internet speculation. For the families, however, this is not about geopolitics. It is about absence. William Mccasland remains missing. Monica Reza remains missing. Melissa Casias remains missing. Anthony Chavez remains missing. No theory can replace a loved one. No explanation can erase uncertainty. And that uncertainty continues to grow, because America's technological edge depends on a remarkably small number of extraordinary people. When even a handful disappear, the consequences ripple outward, projects slow, institutional memory vanishes. Strategic capability weakens. Whether these cases represent espionage, targeted violence, internal security failures, or an astonishing string of coincidences, one fact remains undeniable. Something unusual is happening around some of America's most sensitive scientific institutions. And until answers emerge, the questions will only multiply. Who benefits? Who knows more than they're saying? How many similar cases never reach the headlines? History teaches us that great technological revolutions rarely occur without conflict. Behind every major breakthrough lies intense competition, sometimes rivalry, sometimes sabotage, sometimes something far darker. The people at the center of this story were not ordinary researchers. They were custodians of the future. And when custodians begin disappearing, it suggests that what they protected may be more valuable than most of us realize. So, what do you think? Is this an extraordinary coincidence? A hidden intelligence war? Corporate sabotage? Or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments, because public attention matters, and unanswered questions have a way of staying unanswered when nobody keeps asking them. For now, the files remain open. The families continue waiting, and some of America's brightest minds remain unaccounted for. In aerospace, nuclear research, and advanced technology, the loss of one scientist is tragic. The loss of this many, this quickly, under these circumstances, is a warning. Whatever the ultimate explanation may be, the pattern is real, and it may still be unfolding.